I don't know what Radovid's intentions are. I think, is it really just to get... Ooh, epilogue. What? So we're done with chapter 3. Oh, and
What
we're
happened
buds
to
now.
Saskia?
She's alive. Wounded from our scrap, but alive. She impaled herself on a tree, and then I had to use that dagger. But she'll make it. Mountain air is good for a dragon's hide.
You're the most noble human I know, Gwynblade.
I'm no human.
I'm glad you reminded me. My hatred for the species abated for a moment.
What about Letho?
Strange thing. He sits in the Temerians' former camp. I believe he awaits you.
How do you know?
I saw him. He's got Triss.
Let's go. Tell me what happened here on the way.
Yeah, chapter
While you
3
were
really
fighting
wasn't that long,
Saskia,
Khmer.
The city was staged to a bloody
And I spent a lot of time kind of just
Players.
dilly-dallying and
There were
crafting.
many. At first, it was a hunt for the traitors, but it soon turned into a hunt for all mages. And there were a few skirmishes between Kedweni, Redanian, and Temerian troops. Rape, pillage, and murder. Not necessarily in that order. The pastimes of the Order's pious knights. And the regular troops soon followed suit. The kings, with their choice units, left the city just after the dragon attacked.
And the Nilfgaardians?
Remained neutral. That is to say, they shot anyone who dared approach their camp.
Things are looking grim. It's like end times over here. Should I drink some potions? Are we going to be going into a fight?
When we're done with you, you'll be a lump of whimpering.
That's just disgusting.
Elf! Killed a non-human.
You're going to regret that, guys. Oh, shoot, back up. They're actually not that easy.
For the king! For Kedwen!
There we go. Set on fire and frozen. Not a good fate.
Beasts! Bloody sons of bitches!
Will you be all right?
Yes, thank you. Leave me.
What happened here?
When the summit ended, we hid in one of the houses, but they found us. They cut off both my sister's hands so she wouldn't cast spells. But I managed to escape. They caught me here.
Let's go, Gwynblade. This is madness. Loch Muin has changed. That's what it looks like now.
Yeah? Which way should we go? Can we go through here? Should I art it? Oh, there's a door. Okay. Oh, geez. Pool of blood? Are those rats? Alright, let me drink at least a couple of potions here. I feel naked without my potions. Let's drink, Yeah, let's drink this Brock just to get rid of it. Petrie's filter, why not? It's really more about having toxicity so that I get all of my bonuses than it is the actual effects of the potions. Also, let me take a look here and change some things around. If we go into range stuff, I want to put on the poison harpy claws, for one. Let's get rid of that. And then as far as bombs go... Or actually, we could have another type of dagger on, too. What's Sting? Oh, Sting is cool. Let's put on Sting. and get rid of this. And I kind of want to make some Devil's Puffball. Can I do that? Alchemy, Devil's Puffball. We can. There we go. All right, good.
I think I heard something.
Imperial troops.
Oh, Nilfgaard.
Long live the Emperor!
Back up.
Live the Emperor!
Let's back up and let's put a potion on. Arachnid oil. Woo! Hang on, let's use Axi here. Hurry! Oh, it didn't work. Alright, in that case, some bombs. Yes! Alright, one's down. Let's get this guy next.
Taste our steel.
Awesome. Are there more? Oh yeah, there are more. I thought I could knock this back at him. Is that gonna work? Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Pretty sure I had that skill. Let's just kill him like this, because it's fun. Although it's also slow.
Die, Nordling!
I don't think there's anything gonna be...
Your story.
I managed to sneak
A story?
into the Nilfgaardian camp. It was relatively quiet there. Then I saw Letho leading Triss out.
They let him go?
No one dared stop him. I followed him. I think he noticed me, but didn't seem to care. Once the fighting died down, he went to the former Temerian camp.
Is Triss all right?
Yes. Letho defended her from marauders.
Letho defended her, huh? Jesus. Look at this. Can I open this? No. Whoa, that's an even bigger pile of bodies. What the hell's going on here? There couldn't have been this many mages. Who are all these people? I better get all of the herbs that I can, because I'm really low on supplies. Alright, let's go. This is it! Look at this! Finally face to
Stop,
face.
Yorvith. I'm going alone.
Why?
This is between the two of us. Take care of Triss until I return.
Your choice.
Mine, indeed. There's one more thing you need to know. Nilfgaard's armies have crossed the Yaruga. War is inevitable.
Vafail, Gwynblade. Don't get killed.
I wonder if I'm gonna finish
Farewell,
this game
Yorvith.
today.
If I
I'm
don't
excited.
return within the hour, find Saskia and leave without me. Are you all right?
Yes. He saved me from the Nilfgaardians, and defended me from the troops.
It's time to end this. Yorvith's waiting. I'll catch up with you soon.
Geralt, he knows a lot.
I know, Triss. That's why we need to talk.
Don't get killed, Witcher.
I won't.
Look at this arena. Is this where we're gonna have our final battle? And all this blood. Letho, is this your pile of bodies that we're looking at here? Oh, that's the stone. So he's the one who sabotaged Sheila.
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
Oh, it was.
Good. Had she lived, she would have suffered more intensely and much longer. She helped me quite a bit, through naivety and pride. I would not have gotten far without her.
So that was Mercy, eh?
So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka?
Yeah, why not?
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her.
What?
But I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice, 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed, without hesitation.
So we did switch places with her to free her from the hunt. That seemed to be what had happened.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left.
So did Letho help us out by protecting her when we
I
left?
remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
Ooh, boys. Okay. So we can just fight right now. But I want to hear more.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Let's finish this. Let's start with Yennefer.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory.
She had amnesia
We were
too.
in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Sarret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met a.w.t.y de Rideau, and a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the northern kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that a.w.t.y had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire.
She was when I left.
Wow, so this seems to be where, like, for the first whole 2 Witcher games, we've had amnesia, and apparently so is Yennefer. That might be why we've had no contact with her. She's lost her memory. And our the things that we've been doing have been causing her memory to return. And this is kind of like where Geralt's past from the books, all of the things that take place before the first game, and everything that we've been doing since then, they're coming to meet right here at the end of this game. I wouldn't be surprised if after this encounter I get all of my memory back. I say I mean Geralt.
How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Okay, so that makes sense. He wants to basically, like, make things okay again for Witchers in the south, and Emir promised him that. I could ask him this, but I think I know the answer.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the north. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The north resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
So, sow the seeds of chaos, and they definitely have done that. And Nilfgaard, as they have twice before in other invasions, plan to invade again, and finally take control of all of the northern kingdoms. They'll then control just about everywhere except for, I think, Zerrikania. I'm not sure on my geography outside of this northern part of the Witcher universe.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every Witcher who wears the Viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
Yeah, but I'd like to know. Alright. Yeah, why did you wait for me?
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me, well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way, but if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Oh, there was one more thing that I could ask. I think it was here. Yeah, I'm still curious about the assassinations. Whoa! Look at all of this stuff, huh? I guess I'm very curious. Okay. Jeez, so we can get, like, his side of the story?
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk. But it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers. And we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth's Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I'd been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
I see. Well, we know how he learned about the Lodge. It was from
Where'd you get
Emir.
your information about the Lodge?
And
From
Yennefer.
the Emperor and
Yeah.
Vatir de Rideau, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
Yeah,
She
he
recovered
told
her
us this
memory?
already.
Nah. I'd never
Nah.
claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, They gave me a list of the sorceresses in the lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
Alright. Yeah, let's go here
When
next.
did you decide to get rid of Yorvith?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
I like Yorvith a
Mistake.
lot.
You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran,
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorvith. I forced you to flee.
and I let you live, you know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
Yeah, he was
No,
strong.
I remember.
He definitely could have beat me there. Alright,
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery's solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The king of Temeria would have to deal with the a.w.t.y sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle is under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arian's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arian's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one
oh.
noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret.
Very nonchalant about
And all I
everything,
had
huh?
to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
I mean, you were wearing a frock.
So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
And then he failed the king to slay Henselt. I didn't know that he was trying to
Screwed up with
kill
Henselt.
Henselt. Can't talk
Sabrina's
anymore.
curse tore that down. First off, we got holed up in that hideout in the ravines. Then Sheila showed up and started watching Henselt like he was her own ass. By that time, his death was no longer necessary. Fate had smiled upon us again. I learned of the summit and the efforts to reconstitute the council and conclave. The ideal setting for the mission's grand finale.
Starting to put on his Batman voice, eh? Alright, and then about Yennefer? Well, we've already done this. Alright, I guess let's finish this. What's gonna happen here?
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
I'm not sure what to think right now.
The Imperial Army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
Oh, this is it! Give it your best shot or go somewhere far away. Okay. If anybody's here watching the stream, if you want to let me know, because I'm curious, what would you do, given all that we've seen? So, I'm eager to fight him from a gameplay perspective, just because I think it would be fun. It'd be a fun finish to the game to fight Letho, this time, to the death. However, I'm inclined also to let him go, because he really wasn't the enemy in the end, was he? The Lodge of Sorceresses, I think, was the bigger enemy. And, they've been dealt with. In fact, throughout this whole game, after now knowing everything, I feel like we've just done nothing but been manipulated. Manipulated by Triss, by the sorcerers, and sorceresses. Manipulated by Letho and Nilfgaard. Like, what is it that we want anyway? To get our memory back? Is that really the only thing that we want? Originally, we set out to clear our name. That's clearly not an issue anymore. We've cleared our name. Everything is known. It's now known that Letho and the sorceresses are the ones who plotted to kill everybody, and that Letho killed King Foltest. So that's not an issue. What is there to gain by fighting Letho, aside from just the fun of fighting him? I don't think that there is anything to gain. What's done is done. Killing him won't solve or change anything. But then, it's lame, right? To not fight him after all this time chasing him? I don't want to deal with that. That's not a very good finish to the game. So, in essence, the question is, do I want to fight him because it will be fun? Or do I want to let him go because I feel like that's actually what I want to do, story-wise? Am I role-playing this game? Or, am I just playing it for the enjoyment of the actual gameplay? I'm gonna let him go. Yeah, I just think that's... I don't know. I don't have anything against Letho. I really don't. I liked Foltest. He killed him. So, yeah, and Kermir's backing me up on talking about how, it's probably better to just choose based off of how you're role-playing Geralt and, the story. So, we're gonna let him go.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
Are you going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
I thought he was like, high five. You think you would also let him leave? Yeah, and I do appreciate the advice without actually telling me what to do. That was helpful, Career. Thanks. Is that Yennefer? Is that what I'm supposed to think? Maybe that's Yennefer's spy, or that's Yennefer herself? I don't think that's what I'm supposed to think. I'm not sure what that is.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers.
It's the end.
Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds. Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwen divided it between them. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwen would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the day seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
And there's the credits! Haha! Bravo, CD Projekt Red. I did like the game quite a bit. There were a number of things that frustrated the hell out of me, but that had more to do with my obsessive, compulsive tendencies when it comes to playing games. They really do a good job of making you feel consequence. Consequence for selling an armor that you weren't supposed to sell. Consequence for not saving an item you were supposed to sell. Consequence for making a decision when what's going to happen based off the decision is not clear. You always feel like you've made the wrong choice. In many cases, especially in the first game, they didn't do it as much in the second game, but it was still present throughout the whole time. Never really sure if you're making the right call, and even once later on you see what ends up happening, it's still not clear. It's still not clear if you made the right call. Now, the idea is for me to now go and play Witcher 3 after this. However, I might take a break and do some other newer games that I haven't played before doing that, just for a little bit of change of pace. I've spent a lot of time on The Witcher, and there's a number of shorter playthroughs that I'd like to get to, so I might be doing that instead. And then there are some new games I'm excited about coming out later this year, so I'll be hitting those up as soon as they release. Now, this game also has another side to it. They designed it in a way that you kind of have to do 2 playthroughs to experience all of it. There's the Jorvik side, and then there's siding with the Roach. I had intended to play the second part of this and do a dark mode playthrough siding with Roach, but I'm not sure if I feel the need to. I feel closure with this game. I wouldn't mind not seeing the Roach path and maybe just watching another person's playthrough of the Roach path to experience the story. I honestly wouldn't mind that at all. I don't feel the need to actually play through it again to just see that side of the story. And that's one of the benefits of people doing Let's Plays of this game, is you can see the other side of things, see what choices they made, and I think that's my plan. Possibly Layers of Fear and Observer. Definitely Layers of Fear. Possibly Observer, but Layers of Fear is coming soon. I am going to be playing that very soon. So yes. Observer, I might be doing that. I might not in the near future. I want to do Layers of Fear first, since that one's a bit shorter. Observer is going to be a bit of a longer playthrough. So if I do Observer, it's going to be later on this year, not soon. But I'll let the credits play out as an ode to all of the developers. I guess talk real quick too about more of my impressions of the game. Visually, this has been one of the most impressive games I've ever played, visually. The actual design and graphics are stellar. It looks amazing at all times. The combat. I think I really enjoyed the way that they did traps, bombs, and alchemy. I actually liked it a lot better than the first Witcher game. I enjoyed having to craft and plan out my potions, bombs, traps, and drink my potions before going into combat. I think that made it feel very strategic and true to how I envision a Witcher has to be. Like in the books, like he has to plan out what he's going to do beforehand, drink his potions, put himself kind of into a battle trance before the battle comes up. He's not just popping potions on the fly in the middle of battle. So I liked that. I enjoyed it very much. The combat itself did, though, feel very samey throughout the game. You find yourself reusing the same tactics because they work and not using others because they don't work in most situations. There were only a few times where I specifically said, oh, I'm going to need to actually use this sign, where I don't usually use this sign. Most of the time, I could use my same tactics in every situation. And that does make it so that you can just pick and choose whatever kind of Witcher you want and still get through the game, so that's nice. However, I would have liked to see more situations where you had to specialize and use a particular tactic. Now, as far as the fights go, they did feel samey throughout the game, but there were some that stood out as being amazing. The Karen fight was my favorite fight and moment of the entire game. And in fact, the Karen fight is one of my favorite bosses of any game I've ever played. I enjoyed it so much. It was the right amount of difficulty, having to figure things out while being under threat of smashed by giant tentacles, made for a really exciting time. I loved it. I loved the Karen fight so much. None of the other boss battles in the game really did it for me like that one did. The dragon fight was fun and interesting, but again, very samey. It wasn't dynamic. The Karen fight had stages that changed, and you had to figure out what to do, and it wasn't exactly clear. So, thank you for that. That alone made this game worth it, just that fight alone. And anytime I fought a bunch of, like, a big group of enemies and made use of, like, my bombs and abilities to just shred them to bits, that was really satisfying. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I'm just gonna hang out and let the credits roll until they're done, as a big thank you to the developers. And then I'll be signing off for today. I have a regular schedule set. I'm going to be doing, for next week, I'm going to start doing Bound by Flame on Fridays, I think. I don't know. I'm going to do basically alternate. I'm going to do one game every other day and then do a different game every other day. So I will post up my schedule once I have it set on my profile on Twitch so you guys can see exactly what I'm streaming and where. Since now I think I've decided very specifically on a streaming schedule. But thank you guys very much for watching. It's been a lot of fun, especially you, Premier, being here the whole time. It was great. So thanks and goodbye. Feel free to hang out for the rest of the credits if you like. What other games might I play? I'm not sure. I have to do some research. I want to change things up. I want to do different... Oh! One thing that had occurred to me, I haven't played Demon's Souls, which is the game that inspired and is kind of a prequel to the Dark Souls series, which I like so much. I never played it, so that's something that I had considered doing. But in general, I want to do more smaller games that are kind of story-focused and more experiential. For instance, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I know I'm going to play it, I just need to find a good time and decide when I'm going to do it. So Layers of Fear, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice are two that I'm definitely doing. Demon's Souls is a maybe. Dishonored is very good and you can suggest it. Okay, yeah, I might do Dishonored. I did want to do some sort of stealth-focused game, and I know that Dishonored is one of those, where you approach each situation and you can kind of decide whether to go more stealthy or just kind of fight it out. That's also going to be similar to a game I'm looking forward to playing in March. So, that's another possibility. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to decide which one I'm going to like the best. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped to be playing some different games than what I've been doing. I've done like nothing but Witcher and Dark Souls, and Bound by Flame has been fun, but it's very similar to Witcher and Dark Souls. It's kind of in the same category of game. So I want to get out of the box a little bit more than that. Oh, this music is nice. It reminds me of the Vergen music. I think it is the Vergen music. Wow, these credits are actually scrolling by really slow. They're pretty proud of what they've done, huh? That they're scrolling this slow. Dishonored is probably the best in regards of gameplay diversity. Yeah, that's what I've heard. And I did play a demo of the first Dishonored game when that came out. So I've experienced a little bit of it. I found it pretty difficult to get the hang of, actually. But that's fine with me. I like hard games, and that's one of the draws to any game that is harder to learn at first. Once you get the hang of it, you feel that much more capable. You feel like you've earned the right to be badass. I don't blame them. Yeah, they have every right to be proud of this game. I mean, just think about this game compared to the first Witcher one. The first Witcher. It's light years ahead in almost every single regard. Just light years ahead of it. I'm not sure how I felt about the crafting. The crafting was very tedious. And you know what you may have noticed too at the end of this game? I had a bunch of daggers that I ended up not using. And I had a number of traps that I didn't really use much throughout the entire game. Talger Winter came in handy in this chapter 3, but other than that, I didn't really use my daggers that much. And I put the points into it thinking, oh, I'll use daggers, they're awesome. But near the end of the game, my daggers did such little damage compared to my swords that it was practically useless to use them. And I was disappointed with that. I wish daggers were more of a thing. And inventory management was not that bad if I knew what I was doing. Because I didn't know what I was doing, it was a huge part of my gameplay. It's just inventory management. Trying to get the things that I need to craft things and putting other things away so I'm not overweight. Figuring out what to sell and what not to sell. I didn't not enjoy it. It was okay. Still had a little bit of fun doing all of that stuff. By the way, about Demon Souls, if I were you, I'd probably play it after Dark Souls. Oh, you mean like finish my Dark Souls playthrough? Because I've already played through Dark Souls. But yeah, I could finish my Soul Level 1 run of Dark Souls first. That's a good point. I don't think it should take all that long to do as well. Dark Souls is one of those games that it takes forever your first playthrough because you're exploring everything and you don't know where anything is and you're dying a lot. But the next playthrough should be much faster, I think. Oh, and I never played Dark Souls 2. I know Prox, another viewer here, really likes Dark Souls 2 and recommended that I actually give it a try, but I don't know. I don't feel an urge to play it. I feel like I've experienced Dark Souls enough. I'd much rather play Demon Souls before that. I remember when I was younger and the first Witcher game came out, I was obsessed with, like, just imagining myself as a Witcher. That was what I did a lot as a kid, is I would play games, and then that would be my daydream fuel. Just daydreaming yourself in that role. Got me through some boring times in school, that's for sure. Playing 2 Souls games parallel is a bit too much. Yeah, I see your point. Absolutely. mean, I won't do Demon Souls right away, that's fine. Like I said, I want to do something a little bit different. I think Layers of Fear is going to be the next one. I'm excited for that. And I have to finish Bound by Flame. I'm also kind of scared to do Witcher 3. That's why another reason I'm putting it off is because it's apparently a massive game. It's huge. It's really long. So, like, I'm worried to start it and then have to commit to doing a whole playthrough of that when it's massive. And then I'll lose the opportunity to play more of the other games that I want to try. Is this game Polish? It's Polish, right? I'm looking at all these names passing by. And yeah, Kowalski is definitely Polish. Layers of Fear shouldn't even take that much time. 1 to 2 streams is your guess. Oh, that's cool. That's what I like. I want to do some more, like, shorter games like that. I know Dishonored isn't going to be one of those. How long do you think Dishonored would be, gameplay-wise? Considering the fact that I am rather slow. Not as slow as you. So you probably would be able to estimate fairly well. Okay, we're starting to get to the end because we're getting to, like, the localization team. Wasn't there supposed to be a Witcher TV series that was going to come out? I remember hearing about it. I think it'd make a great TV series. As long as, you know, it looks okay in the computer graphics department. Like, if they don't have a big enough budget to make the monsters actually look good, it would just ruin it for me. I hate TV series that have really terrible computer graphics. It just almost like it breaks the immersion. I'm glad they're playing the Vergen music at the end during these credits. It's like they know that that's the best song throughout the whole game. Because it is. It's the best song. Your last playthrough took about 30 hours. Yeah, and I remember you telling me about how you did a non-lethal playthrough. Like, just sneaking your way through everything without actually having to kill people. That's cool. $30 hours. That's actually not that bad, all things considered. If that's 30 hours for, like, a long playthrough where you did and explored everything, it's not that bad. I mean, considering how long it took me to do The Witcher 2. The Witcher 2 took me more than 30 hours. Actually, so did Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3. I recently tried to, like, get into an RTS game as well. I've never really played those much, but I thought it would be fun. I've been playing Dawn of War 2, and I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible. It's hard to get into something like that if you're not a real-time strategy player. You have to, like, it's just being able to multitask on that level, and then also, you know, just click fast, like be very reactionary. Like there's a certain level of skill in that regard you have to be before your strategy even means anything in an RTS game. Now you're playing the DLCs and you're just killing everything. Man, your character underwent a change, huh? After he finished the game, he realized the futility of his actions, and now he's just gonna murder everything. Actors, huh? They mean voice actors, I assume, right? Italian and Spanish localization. One C Soft Club. You know what the first rule about Soft Club is? You never realized how good the combat is. You almost always played as a good boy. Knowing me, I'll probably end up doing a mixture. Middle ground. I almost developed my character in The Witcher 2 that way, just putting points into everything and not maxing out any single tree. But then ended up changing my mind when I found out, like when I realized how much of a bad idea that is, especially on a harder difficulty. What are we looking at now? Are these Russian names we're looking at? Is this the Russian localization team? Why are we watching this? This game's not in Russian. Don't tell me we're gonna watch every single localization team fly by the screen. That's just a little much. You can play as a different character in the DLCs. Okay, so yeah, from a role-playing perspective, your character hasn't necessarily gone to the dark side. Premier, do you have Netflix? I would just assume everybody has Netflix, but that's probably not a good assumption. Gotcha. I only said that because I recently, like Netflix has been doing, like a lot of anime recently. And they're always interesting. They're not always good, but they're always different. Like, I just watched one, Baki, and it's about, like, these 5 serial killers escape from prison, all for the same reason, because they want to just, like, find somebody to finally defeat them in combat or some such nonsense. But it's absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. It definitely was unique. It was just like ridiculous violence and gore mixed into a story that didn't make sense, but it didn't have to, the way that they did it. Their story didn't need to make sense at all. It was still enjoyable. You're too cheap to pay for it. It's gotten expensive, man. It used to be really cheap to get Netflix, but they've raised their prices because now they do all these original productions. They've gone from just, you know, like, direct viewing, like, streaming of things to actually producing things. And their productions are usually quite good. I'm very impressed with Netflix. I would, if I had to choose between TV and Netflix, I would choose Netflix. And then I would bootleg my Game of Thrones from HBO. It's worth it. I wonder how easy it is to pirate or bootleg Netflix's original productions. I'm not sure. I haven't done anything like that in a while. I don't know how easy it would be. Yeah, we're just going through localization teams at this point. Every single one. Ugh. But, like, I don't want to cut it off now. I just feel like it's important to let the credits roll. You guys don't have to stick around for this. You really don't. I'm going to. I'm gonna be here till the end of these damn credits. But don't feel bad if you end up leaving. I'm surprised that the three of you are still here. Hey, yeah, the Czech localization. Nice. When you played it, did you play that version? Actually, if you speak more than one language, it'd be fun to do your next playthrough in a different one. So you could do one in Czech and then one in English, just to see the differences. How'd you like the voice acting? Because I remember you talking about how funny it was sometimes in the first Witcher game. And like they gave, that they gave the dwarves, like, the Czech equivalent to a redneck accent. Which is great. They gave him a Scottish accent in the English one, just for no reason. I think dwarves are always Scottish in Tolkien-like fantasies. Ever since Lord of the Rings, they've always had a Scottish accent. For some reason. Oh, Namco Bandai did the Chinese localization. That's cool. Oh, geez, I'm gonna have to do so much editing for these recent episodes for this. There's so much backtracking I did and, like, screw-ups in the last chapter of this game. And then not to mention, those sigils. Okay, so now that I've done it, does anyone actually know how you're supposed to solve the puzzle of those magical sigils in Chapter 3? The ones that I just brute forced? Which wasn't actually hard, it was just boring. Like, I never was able to figure out how to solve it with those riddles. It was surprisingly good considering it's not the main language of the game. That's nice. Yeah, the main language of the game is actually Polish, isn't it? Although the English localization, I'm not surprised, would also be good. All things considered. Also, CD Projekt Red was already much bigger by the time they made this game. They had a lot more resources to deal with than when they made Witcher 1. Why did they start to get more popular? Was Witcher 1 that good that it made them popular enough to be able to produce this, the second Witcher game? I don't even know what other games they've made besides the Witcher series. You have no idea, you tried to do them just once. Yeah, those magical sigil things were crazy. Like, there were a lot of puzzles in Chapter 3, but that one I still have no idea. I'm actually looking forward to looking up how to solve those puzzles, just so it blows my mind. I'm actually going to do it now. Since we're still watching credits, I'm going to see if I can find, just look up really quick how to actually solve the magical sigil puzzles. Oh! Wait. Huh. I tried to look up somebody's explanation of how to solve it, and I'm still confused. I'm still confused as hell. It seems to be like the Polish government helped to pay for The Witcher 2. Yeah, I wonder if that's actually true. Oh yeah, but the magical glyph puzzle, I still don't know what it is. I tried looking it up and I saw someone's explanation of it and it was really complicated. Not only that, but the clues that you get, actually, those 4 books, they correspond with a random room. They don't coincide with the actual numbers on the books. Not only that, but you have to use the clues to create a glyph for each clue and then associate each of those with the clues in the room. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not even that interested. Wait, what is this? Is this my reward for sitting through all those credits? Oh, this is great. I'm glad we stuck around. That poor rabbit didn't know what hit him. There was Khmer? I missed that. At the end of the credits, there was a dark text that said none. I was looking at my phone. Is that... It's Nilfgaard. Wait, is that Stennis? I don't think that's Stennis. You mean on the horse, of course, right? Oh wait, we're this guy. Has begun the invasion. Whoa. Oh, nice. And that sets up the next game, I guess. The world as we know it nears its end, yet the past remains the key to the future. And there we go! And look at that, the picture changes on the menu. I don't know if I talked about this before, but each chapter there's a different picture for your menu, depending on where you are in the game. But awesome! What a great game. I know I complained about it a lot in the last chapter, but that was just there were a few things that frustrated the hell out of me, but overall, really enjoyed it. Liked it a lot. Alright, thanks for sticking around for the credits. There was your reward, a little teaser for the next one. And I'm going to be signing off for the day. Thank you guys very much for watching.